You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Donald Trump is running out of options, based on an article by The Conversation. Trump has turned war into a hostage market. The new phase. Trump has declared the June ceasefire over, resumed intensive airstrikes on Iran, and reimposed an economic blockade. He is also recycling threats to hit civilian targets and seize Kharg Island. The reporting makes one thing plain: this is not a search for peace. It is coercive escalation after a failed attempt to force a favorable outcome by violence. Who actually decided this? The centers of power are not mysterious. Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu launched this conflict trying to damage Iran's nuclear capabilities and maybe topple its regime. Now Trump is still the one choosing the next move, while Iran is responding from a position of geographic and strategic endurance. The article's plainest truth is that the United States started a war it cannot neatly finish. The nuclear story is a cover story. The biggest misdirection here is the lingering obsession with Iran's nuclear program. The article says that issue has taken a backseat to control of the Strait of Hormuz, and that is the real political terrain. This war is now about who can impose terms on shipping, energy, and regional movement. Trump keeps talking as if pressure will produce surrender. What he actually has is a stalled coercion campaign that has already failed to produce the result he wants. Force has limits, even for Washington. The military options are ugly and weak. To eliminate Iran's ability to manage shipping, the U.S. would need to seize a vast amount of territory and accept heavy casualties, with no guarantee of success. Seizing Kharg Island would be risky and hard to hold. Striking civilian targets would be cynical and probably illegal, and likely provoke retaliation across the Gulf. This is the basic problem with empire by threat. The more damage it threatens, the less control it actually has. Sanctions are not a strategy. The economic blockade is presented as Trump's most effective tool, but even that is a blunt instrument. It can hurt the Iranian government and probably worsen domestic suffering, especially after the unrest and repression described in early 2026. But it also raises global energy prices and demands a permanent U.S. military deployment that is not leveraged without cost. It is self-farm packaged as resolve. The pattern. This is what authoritarian foreign policy looks like when it runs into reality. Threats, blockade, civilian pain, and a promise that more force will solve what prior force could not. Trump is not being boxed in by confusion. He is being boxed in by the consequences of his own choices. The larger pattern is familiar leaders manufacture a crisis, inflate their control over it, then discover that geography, retaliation, and material limits do not care about their rhetoric. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Norman. Thanks for listening.